Guys, I sure come at you today with another Raid Shadow Legends Champion guide, this time on the Nuker Extraordinaire, the OG, the classic Void Nuker in the game, and he's still got it. It's Ethos, guys. High Elf, Void Affinity Legendary. First, a quick shout out or two. QWERTY, Ethos, please. Lord Man Goat, looking for an Ethos, and a Little Miss Annie. I like Little Miss Annie too. Quentin, looking for some Ethos. We got Linus, looking for some Ethos. We got QWERTY going back. Ethos, Ethos, Ethos. Linus looking for Ethos. Hey, guys, we got Ethos. We got Ethos. Furthermore, guys, for I think the first time on this channel, I have my artist, my thumbnail artist, has been kind enough to lend me his account. Not because I don't have Ethos built on my account. I do, but I want to share free-to-play, even though this is an end-game free-to-play account. He's been playing for years, right? So this is an end-game free-to-play account. I've covered this account quite a few times. We called him the free-to-play god on my main YouTube channel, Ash Raid Shadow Legends, and he's given all his tips as a free-to-play. If you want to just search, I don't know, Ash free-to-play god or something like that, you'll see those videos. We also just did a Soulstone, how he treats Iron Twins, how he treats Altar of Souls, how he handles strategy behind conversion of the Soul Merchant and stuff like that in the Mythic market. Anyway, guys, I digress. Big shout out to Henry White for allowing me to use his account for today's guide. So, who is Ethos? What is he doing? Why is he so good, right? Well, on his A1, Gouge attacks one enemy, 20% chance of granting an extra turn, destroy enemy max HP by 15% of the damage dealt. On the A2, Outburst attacks all enemies not once, not twice, but 3 times on a 3-turn cooldown when booked. Plays the big version of Weaken for 2 turns. He recently got a buff. It used to be the small version of Weaken, now it's the big version. So obviously, incredibly dependable Weaken champion. 100% on a Void champion, right? On the A3, Extinguished Life attacks all enemies, and this attack is always critical. He also has crit rate in arena battles by 33%. Not the best aura in the game. You'd have to build a very niche team around him, basically using him in the arena with only a 77% crit rate would be the way to go, along with all the other nukers, and run him as the aura lead. But frankly, I don't think you would ever want to use this aura. I think I'd rather have a speed aura in the arena. I'd probably rather have, you know, resistance or defense or whatever else you're looking for. So anyway, that is Ethos. Let's take a quick look, guys, at his multipliers, because he is a nuker after all. Is based at 1608 on the attack, almost 19k on the HP. Very good for a nuker. 716, very bad for anybody, unfortunately, right? In terms of where this guy is used, Dragon 4.5 out of 5, Fire Knight 5 out of 5, Ice Golem 5 out of 5, Doom Tower 5 out of 5. Doom Tower bosses, basically across the board, he is the ultimate wave killer, right? He can do some damage to bosses as well, right? You can use him in early and mid game arena, right? Farm your Great Hall with this champion. But really on ally attack teams, I love this dude, as well as anywhere that you need to clear waves fast, right? Especially when you don't have a Seer or an Eleanoril type team. A 3.8 godlike rating on that A1, a 1.35 multiplier, excuse me, on the A2, but it's a triple hitter, right? So really around the 4 neighborhood on that when you add it all up. And then Extinguished Life, a 4.4 godlike damage rating on that A3. I can't lie to you guys. The multipliers here, they don't necessarily pop out and just like blow you away as some other champions do, but I think it's the fact that he has 2 big nukes in his kit versus just 1 like a lot of nukers do. Furthermore, he's no weak hits to worry about because he's Void. And then last but not least, this Extinguished Life, even though it's a 4.4, it feels harder than that. It really does. Anyway, let's go in and see this dude in action. Before we do, let's go ahead and take a look at the build that Sir Henry is using here. I will go ahead. I'm not going to change anything about this build, but I will critique where I would change things if there are anywhere. First off, his accuracy is pretty low, but that means he's just depending on other champions to bring the weekend on his team, right? Obviously, if you want to land the weekend, it's going to have more than 122 accuracy, but he's clearly using Ethos as most people do, right? As just pure all-out damage. But I did want to flag that if you want to land the weekend, if you don't have another weekend champion on your team, if you're using like a Stag Knight or a Deacon or a Dr. Pierce or somebody like that as a debuffer, you might want to build that accuracy up to have him bring that weekend as well. He's at 101. He's at 249. We'd love to see 100% crit rate mandatory on this champion, and then as much crit damage as we can stack. A lot of attack on this champion, 7,400. His speed is fine. You know, I'm looking for 180, probably the slowest, to, you know, sky's the limit. 240, 250 speed would be great. Some survivability if you're worried about that. Obviously, he's very squishy here with 1,500 on the defense, but I'm assuming that Henry can keep this dude alive. We have him in a lethal set and a cruelty set. That's very good. The perfect combination because we're ignoring 30% of enemy defense, getting some extra attack and some crit rate. So obviously using some of his best nuking gear here. We have crit damage on the gauntlets, attack percentage on the chest, and attack percentage on the boots. Interesting. So he is going all out nuke. He still has him at a respectable speed at 194. No wonder that attack is so high, huh, guys? I would still go speed on the boots in most situations on Ethos. Frankly, I've moved away from going attack percentage on anybody but my campaign farmer, unless you have them like fully awakened, fully empowered. What I'm trying to say is people who are, you know, dirty pay to wins like yours truly, who are getting a lot of extra speed from faction guardians, empowerment, and blessings, right? And or arena bonuses. Then I would consider putting attack percentage. But for me, I'd rather have the speed, but to each their own, obviously, right? These are nice boots because they have all that speed on there already, plus the crit rate as well. So I can see why he chose to go that route on Ethos. We have Crushing Rend, which I actually really like. The first hit each round will ignore a percentage of the target's defense, 1% for each 40 levels. This is the best mastery for Ethos, in my opinion, for wave content, right? That first hit sometimes is all you need, or at least that's where you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck. And I think that Crushing Rend is absolutely tremendous. So I do agree on the Crushing Rend. In terms of masteries on this champion, obviously, he didn't go support. He's not concerned with the accuracy or extending the debuff or anything like that. If you did want to go support, I would go with the accuracy masteries. I'd come down to Evil Eye. I'd go to Master Hexer and just kind of keep it simple and basic like that. I actually prefer defense and offense, just like Henry has them built out here. I love this build. It's kind of an arena nuker build, but it's applicable to PvP for an Ethos, okay? So crit rate, crit damage. We come down here. He goes Whirlwind of Death, which I really love. Increases champion speed for each enemy killed. Stacks across each round. Again, that's great for mitigating that 191 speed, the fact that we have attack percentage on those boots, so I don't mind that. Actually, really, I love that combo. We have Ruthless Ambush, another 8% extra damage inflicted on our first hit on each enemy. And then we have Opportunist. If they're under stun, sleep, fear, etc., getting even more damage. Cycle of Violence often can proc on this champion. 30% of it has a 30% chance of decreasing the cooldown of a random skill by 1 turn if the damage inflicted by a skill exceeds 30% of the target's max HP. Occurs once per turn, and he comes down with Helm Smasher. So I do really like this loadout. These masteries, I totally agree. Hey, what is that big line in Ethos? Come on, man, Ash. Don't be an amateur here. All right. So those are the masteries. Talked about blessing. Talked about artifacts. Overall, I really enjoy the build that Henry's using on Ethos. Let's go ahead and take... I want to do a quick... Just because he's ignoring so much defense with lethal, cruel, and Helm Smasher, the proverbial trifecta, I do want to take him into a battle here. Look at this. How's this for a free-to-play arena team, huh? Marichka, Yumeko, Duchess, and Rhodos? My God. All right, where's the squaddy? Oh, he doesn't even have him. Okay, cool. Let's take Rhodos out, and let's put Ethos in. Let's just see how much damage he does. Hopefully we're fast enough here. I have no idea what his speeds are. Okay, we are fast enough. Yumeko comes in first. Unfortunately, he gets put to sleep before I could get the... We can cleanse it off. Perfect. All right, let's see what we can do, guys. This is going to be... let's try the Extinguish Life first. Boom. Hey, not bad, man. Unfortunately, Rhodos with a counterattack, that wasn't good. but he one-shot Siphi with that ability. That was pretty nice. Now we can get Helicath down, and now we can pick him up and just put it on auto. Hopefully we can walk out. We should be fine here, I think. Unfortunately, going against 2 block damage. He's going to come in with a triple hitter next. Boom. Oof, easy, man. I gotta say, as I said earlier, I'm sure a few, like maybe endgame players watching this video, and that was a nice A1 too, man. Very hard hitting on the A1. Keep in mind, I think a 3.9 was it multiplier on the A1? 3.8. I'm sure some endgame players may have scoffed when I said he was a good arena progression champion, but I think this proves it, right? I mean, Helicath, all these champions are pretty tanky for the most part, you know? And he was able to do some really significant numbers. Let's go against an even tankier team. Duchess and Ursuga with the passive, if you guys are unfamiliar, decrease the damage all allies received from critical hits by 30%. So built in there. Ultimate Death Knight. This is a real pain in the Ashe team here, right? All right, here we go. We're definitely going to go first on this squad. Got triple Stone Skin as well. Now, I'm suddenly regretting going into this battle because it's going to take me forever. Let's go ahead and speed things up a little bit. I'm just going to... There's not much I can do here. It's only a one-time hitter. It's going to be soaked up, and I'm going to be going to Stone Skin. I'm not going to be able to kill Leo because he's got unkillable. This is one of those rare situations. I'm just going to cycle into the A1 to kick things off, right? I'll wait till that Stone Skin is off these champions. That way I can actually make my nuke worth it, right? Plus, they might have reaction gear. Sometimes it's better to sit out the first wave against a tanky team like this in terms of using your good abilities, right? Let's see. Let's go after Duchess, I guess. I was hoping to get that ally attack with Ethos. Didn't work out. No choice. All right, here we go. Let's go with Outburst this time. Let's try to land the weekend. They don't have block... we don't have any accuracy on them. Hey, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too great, but just keep in mind how much damage mitigation. The passive of Duchess, the passive of Ursuga. It's an annoying team, that's for sure. It might take me so long that I might just cut the battle. I'll give you guys the result, but I'm not going to keep you with me for 25 minutes on one arena team. But let's give him one more shot to nuke. Unfortunately, he has decreased crit damage, which you hate to see. You hate to have that debuff. Yeah, it looks like we're actually not going to... We might be able to come back because Marichka has the revive on death and stuff like that, but I'm not going to make you guys sit through this. Let's just do a quick damage check against another Go First team. Hopefully we can outpace this team, right? It's a lot easier this way. All right, come in here. I wonder how fast his Yumeko is. Yumeko is personally my favorite, my fastest, champion on my account out of all my champions. Used to be for a long time it was Arbiter, but now it's the Yumeko. All right. Let's go in here. Let's go in again with Extinguish. Well, let's go with the A3 again. Boom. That was not too shabby. I want you guys to keep in mind, too, that this is with no debuffs, okay? No debuffs on the enemy team, all right? So definitely, he's got what it takes to be an arena nuke. I don't care what anybody says. Is he the best in the game? No. But is he good? Yes. All right, so Ethos not being used there. This is Doom Tower Hard in a free-to-play account, man. I'm going to show you this squad. I've shown it before. Yeah, let's do that. I've shown this squad before, something similar to it. Yumeko is not necessary on this team. And you know what? Let's go to Magma. I feel like I just showed that team. Let's go to Magma Dragon and see how this team runs. I'm just going to keep it on full auto here. So let's see what he can do to these waves. That's nut. Boom. Not bad, right? Granted, they're only level 180. They're only level 180, huh? And I'm imagine, yeah, let's see. But still, gets the job done, right? Gets the job done. It doesn't matter. We can get out of here. You don't need to see him against the Magma Dragon. Obviously, we can beat him. All right, guys, before I let you go, I'm going to show you basically the things that you can do with Ethos, right? He can solo clear Doom Tower easy, or normal, difficulty floors, right? He comes back in there. He'll get back to Outburst really, really quickly. Like, that's really solid, right? He's kind of like Baron in that regard. Both Void legendary champions who are just like, let me see. He's at level 51 right now. Let me see if I can... Oh, not enough keys. Oops. Can I go back and do... Yeah, I can go back and do this floor. But again, you're going to see that, like, Man, and obviously this applies to non-solo content as well. I can bring him in here I can bring him in with a team around him, right? Basically keep this dude alive. He's got you covered in terms of damage, right? Furthermore, you can use him in I mean, so many different areas. Anywhere you need damage. But I just changed to Nightmare campaign. So Nightmare difficulty, man, like you stick him with a reviver, right? Stick him with any champion that can keep this dude alive. You can see he's using him as a campaign farmer too, it looks like here. So he can be a campaign farmer for you. Let me check real quick with like, I don't even know, does he have any gear on Ursula? Let's see. I'm not sure if that's any gear or not. Okay, who do you think? Oh, Duchess is probably his favorite reviver, right? If I had to choose who he actually uses the most. But this is Nightmare campaign. If you're struggling with this sort of content, you need some good DPS. I mean, look at that, dude. He absolutely decimates, man. This is Nightmare. Again, not Brutal, which is the place that most people farm, you know? So, like, that's the kind of damage you can get out of this dude. He's a one-man wrecking ball, man. He's a one-man wrecking ball. He's an old-school champion in this game, but my man still got it. Unfortunately, he just burnt Extinguished Life against one mob with not a lot of health. Would have loved for him to use that ability a little bit sooner, but there he goes, the Outburst. Even if he dies here, which it looks like he's going to, there he goes. He'll get picked right back up by Duchess, and this guy's like, in terms of damage, it's like a cheat code if you're lucky enough to pull an Ethos. So big shout out to Sir Henry for allowing me to use his account for this guide on Ethos. What a great nuker. He still got it after all these years. Keep the guide requests coming, guys. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.